The film opens with a chaotic airplane fight where passengers brutally clash. A man falls out of the broken plane wall due to heavy wind. To understand the reason behind this fight, the story flashes back 12 hours before the flight next in the morning. Hunter arrives at the office in a hurry, behaving rudely to everyone he meets on the way. When he reaches the office, he sees an explosion on the screen, which was reported just 10 minutes ago at the FBI's head office. Many people have died in this incident due to firing in Bangkok. Additionally, many cases coming to light, but the surprising thing was that the culprit's identity was unknown, no name, no birthplace, and no appearance details were available in the profile. Even in the CCTV footage, his appearance is not clear, only a digital shadow is visible as if he's a ghost. So is all this really done by a ghost, or was their reality something else? This will be revealed. As the story unfolds, Hunter erupts in frustration, shouting at his team about the chaos caused by a ghost. Katie appears behind Hunter, prompting him to explain that they have identified the culprit as a ghost. However, Katie turns to Kyle for a more detailed explanation. Kyle briefs Katie on the entire Bangkok incident, leaving Katie concerned. Katie asks Hunter about the Bangkok team, but Hunter abruptly leaves, dismissing the issue. Katie is perplexed by Hunter's behavior and expresses concern about the situation. Hunter admits being baffled, stating it's beyond his understanding. Katie reminds Hunter of his responsibilities and inquires about the Singapore team. She orders them to track the ghost's location and map its movements since leaving the warehouse. Their investigation reveals the ghost was rapidly moving towards the airport, posing a significant threat to Bangkok's security. The team was unsure how to handle this unusual entity, as their techs, interrogators, and bagmen were ill-equipped to deal with it. After that, a little boy appears in Bangkok who quietly approaches a car and steals money from a sleeping man's pocket. He also tries to take the bottle from him, but the man wakes up, catches the child by the collar, removes a cigarette from the boy's ear, puts it in his own mouth, lights it, and then let the child go. The child quickly runs away from there. This man was Lucas, the main character of this story. Then Lucas gets up and enters a bar where a woman, May, was standing at the counter. She offers Lucas coffee, but he prefers liquor. Lucas's phone rings and he rejects the call hesitantly. However, when the call rings again, Lucas answers. The caller was Katie, the person Lucas did not want to talk to. Katie explains to Lucas that she would not have called for help unless it was extremely urgent. Lucas becomes emotional and scolds Katie, saying how she remembered him after 2 years. Lucas appears disturbed, feeling that he was not a toy for Katie to use whenever she wants in anger. Lucas hangs up the call. Then the bar's landline phone rings, and despite Lucas's reluctance, the bartender answers the call. It was Katie again trying to talk to Lucas. Katie provides a detailed description of Lucas's appearance, as if she's seeing him right in front of her. Lucas becomes frustrated, and just then some thugs attack him from behind. Katie hears the commotion over the phone after Lucas escapes and was badly injured. He talks to Katie on the call again. Katie offers to improve Lucas's life, even though he was no longer bound by agency protocols. Katie then asks Lucas to go to the airport. Lucas laughs despite his injuries, knowing that Katie was the one who put him on the no-fly list, and now she wants him to take a flight. Katie, still pushing Lucas, tells him to take a taxi to the airport where he'll even receive a passport. Lucas was given a task since Katie and her team were tracking a high-value target, the ghost. Katie wants Lucas to take all passengers into his custody and get them back to the U.S. safely. Upon hearing this task, Lucas becomes hyper-recalling the last 2 years. However, he then stops a taxi and gets in, heading to the airport to take on the mission as Lucas gets into the taxi. The driver notices his injuries and hands him wet wipes. Meanwhile, at the office, Katie receives an update that the ghost was on a flight to San Francisco. It's evening, and Lucas arrives at the airport as he steps out of the taxi. The driver not only gave Lucas wet wipes, but also his shirt, which Lucas was now wearing. The taxi driver was left sitting naked. Lucas then enters the airport, standing right in front of a CCTV camera, and texts Katie demanding his passport. Katie was impressed seeing Lucas. A man approaches Lucas and hands him his passport. Lucas checks the passport and calls Katie, still somewhat doubtful about her intentions. However, Katie reassures Lucas that he no longer needs to be suspicious as he now has his boarding pass. Meanwhile, Hunter alerts Katie to a special spot on the screen, noticing that it appears on every route. The ghost has taken when Lucas arrives at the airport to check his passport. The computer declares it invalid. The employee checks it twice. Then another officer arrives, slams his hand on the scanner machine, and suddenly the passport was declared valid. The officer then hands the passport back to Lucas, with an apology and a greeting for a safe flight. While scolding the employee with a stern look, Garrett briefs Isha and Royce on the guidelines for interacting with passengers, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a happy face. He then welcomes the passengers himself, providing special service to Mrs. Nazareth, a lead-class passenger who has a phobia of crowds. The scene then shifts to the office, where a new update reveals that office were collecting F photos of all passengers on the plane from the head office. Meanwhile, Lucas has boarded the plane and seated next to Cheyenne, who was meditating. Lucas sips champagne and receives a message from Katie stating that the target was wounded, possibly from a gunshot. Lucas texts Katie about the plane taking off, then puts his phone in his pocket. Meanwhile, at the office, Kyle updates Katie and Hunter, revealing that there's a $10 million bounty on the targeted ghost, and several killers were on the plane to claim it on the plane. Cheyenne waystrees to be overly friendly with Lucas, attempting to show off his calm and cool demeanor. Lucas gets up to check on the passengers in the other class, and when he returns, Cheyenne brings him champagne. Cheyenne continues to try to befriend Lucas, but when Lucas drinks the champagne, he starts to feel dizzy and disoriented, realizing that Cheyenne must have spiked his drink. As Lucas gets up, his head spins and he stumbles, falling to the floor. Cheyenne pretends to be concerned, helping Lucas up and taking him to the washroom there. Cheyenne reveals that he drugged Lucas with xylene. A woman exits the washroom, and Cheyenne throws Lucas to the floor. Cheyenne's true intentions were revealed. He wants to claim the bounty on the ghost. Lucas was shocked to hear about the bounty, but Cheyenne continues to beat him, taking advantage of Lucas's weakened state. Lucas tries to fight back, but his aim was off, and Cheyenne slams him into the mirror. Lucas struggles to get up using the commode for support, but Cheyenne pins him down. Lucas musters the strength to push Cheyenne upwards, and Cheyenne gets impaled on a metal rod from the ceiling. Cheyenne dies instantly and falls onto the commode. Lucas sends a message to Katie, saying he just killed someone as Cheyenne's body falls beside him. Lucas loses consciousness. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself badly injured, and he slowly drags himself among scattered glass to the shower and turns it on, trying to clean himself up. After that, we see a stranger in the basement collecting weapons and putting them in a bag. The stranger then puts the bag in a locker, which belongs to a passenger on the plane. Meanwhile, the Sky Marshal gets up from his seat and heads towards the back of the plane. Cat Eyes, a mysterious woman, notices a device on the Sky Marshal's belt and smiles, then she follows him. Lucas and Cheyenne have been gone for a while, so Aisha and Roy start knocking on the washroom door, asking if everything is okay without their knowledge. Lucas was hiding Cheyenne's dead body in the washroom ceiling. The Sky Marshal arrives and asks Lucas to open the door, but Lucas claims he was airsick. The Sky Marshal starts questioning Lucas, but just then, Roy notices blood dripping from the ceiling. The Sky Marshal immediately pulls out his gun and points it at Lucas. But before he can react, Lucas grabs the gun and hits the Sky Marshal, dragging him into the washroom, along with Aisha and Roy. Roy was terrified, thinking Lucas will kill them too, but Lucas reveals his FBI identity after cuffing the Sky Marshal. He explains the critical situation to Isha and Roy, telling them they were all in danger. Roy suggests informing the pilots, and Lucas agrees, also asking them to notify him if they find another Sky Marshal. Lucas then changes his clothes and tries to put a gun in his back, but it falls because the costume was loose. Then he hands a towel to Isha to take care of it. But when Isha opens it, she and Roy were shocked to see a gun in it. Lucas asks them to hold the gun, as he does not have space for it later while passengers were sleeping. Lucas quietly checks on them, and Cat Eyes notices his presence. Lucas returns and checks a secret door with blood on it, which connects to the cargo hold. Aisha then takes Lucas to an alternate route, leading to the cargo hold in the basement. They find the Sky Marshal's blood-stained body, suggesting he was murdered and dumped there. It was likely that Cat Eyes killed him, as she was the one following him in the basement. Aisha is visibly shaken, and Lucas starts to suspect that she might be the ghost. Just then, the stranger from earlier approaches them, intending to kill Aisha. However, Aisha skillfully dodges and shoots the stranger. Lucas takes the gun from Aisha, concerned about the noise attracting more trouble. They decided to inform the pilots about the situation. Lucas briefs the pilots, warning them not to open the door under any circumstances. Aisha and Lucas then head to Roy, who was shaken and has received a request from the passengers. Aisha takes charge to give coffee to AJ, and Roy follows her instructions. Meanwhile, Lucas seeks Garrett's help, but a masked woman attacks him with a knife. Lucas overpowers her, and they engage in a fierce fight. During the struggle, the woman's mask falls off, revealing her face as they fight. Lucas throws her into a table, and a glass shard pierces her eye, but she continues to fight more. Men join the fight against Lucas, who severely beats them. The commotion occurs near Mrs. Nazareth, who was seated in the diamond class, and starts screaming. Garrett intervenes, escorting Mrs. Nazareth away on the other side. AJ approaches Aisha with his belt, intending to kill her. However, before he can attack, he collapses to the ground, clutching his knee, as Aisha had previously poisoned his coffee outside. Lucas was busy taking down the attackers when he notices a fallen agent's phone with his picture on the screen. Lucas shows the photo to Aisha, expressing concern, and they collectively gather all the dead bodies in one place, which Katie observes on the CCTV footage. Hunter expresses concerns to Katie about Lucas killing everyone, but Katie reveals the truth about Lucas being a hyper agent. It was also revealed that Katie and Lucas had a past relationship, and Katie had dumped Lucas for the sake of her career on the other side. It was revealed that every passenger on the plane has a picture of Lucas and was searching for him. Upon learning this, Lucas moves a table to block the passenger path, sparking a fierce fight. Agents try to kill Lucas, but he fights back, taking down numerous killers. Aisha attempts to help Lucas, but he tells her to stay away from the fight. Suddenly, a musician arrives, pulls out a knife from his instrument, and attacks Lucas. Meanwhile, another man attacks Aisha. Lucas kills the musician. Aisha also defeats her attacker, and Lucas kills another. Then a kung fu master attacks Lucas from behind, but Aisha stops her, revealing that Lucas is with her master Leon, and her clans protect Aisha after the intense fight. Lucas was severely injured, so Aisha and her fellows take him to a safe place to administer first aid. On the other side, the officers have identified Aisha as the ghost and sent her photo to everyone. Meanwhile, Aisha was with Lucas and reveals her true identity to him. She shares her story of being an abandoned kid and how she survived. She then points out a strange machine in the plane's cargo holder which belongs to her. Everyone was after her to get this machine, which was highly valuable. Aisha wants to protect it because same fate as her, now every passenger on. She doesn't want others to suffer. The plane has Aisha's photo. Meanwhile, Katie is talking to Hunter, and it's revealed that Hunter is the mastermind behind everything. There was no ghost killer. Hunter was doing all this to get the machine from Aisha. Hunter was also the one who made Lucas and Aisha's photos go viral on the plane. Hunter wants to obtain the device and become a multi-billionaire, and he was now sharing his plan with Katie on the plane. Some agents try to head to the basement to kill Aisha. However, Roy warns Aisha over the phone that the passengers were now targeting her. Aisha and her fellows prepare to face them, and Lucas drinks a Cobra booster, making him highly energetic. They put their plan into action. Master Leon and her clan confront the agents, taking down many of them. Lucas reaches the upper deck, finding the chaos exciting due to the venom overdose as he moves forward. Cat Eyes demands the ghost from him, but Lucas sees her face distort and flames erupt from her head, which was actually blood from Lucas's axe wound. Everyone was engaged in an intense fight. An agent fires a bullet, hitting one of Master Leon's clan members. A strong wind then causes a part of the plane to break off and people start falling out. The rest were left floating due to the loss of gravitational force. Lucas pushes some people out of the hole in the control room. The pilots were panicking, and one of them opens the door, allowing 2 people to enter and kill them. Aisha announces her presence in the basement, warning the agents, and retrieves a cutter machines. She then hands the machine to Lucas. Then Lucas happily uses the machine to cut down people. Meanwhile, an agent attacks Aisha, but Master Lean intervenes, taking the bullet. Aisha then uses Master Lean's hairpin to stab the agent in the eye on the ground. Hunter and Katie wait for the plane's arrival, but they receive no updates or signals from the plane. Katie walks towards her car, and Hunter was suddenly shot, possibly by Katie inside the plane. Aisha and Lucas reach the control room as the pilots were already dead. Katie calls Lucas asking him to deliver the target, but Lucas firmly refuses, making Aisha relax. Lucas, severely injured, sits in the front seat. After that, Lucas's eyes open in a hospital where he was undergoing treatment. As Lucas gets up, a massive explosion occurs. Aisha rushes towards Lucas, expressing gratitude that he was alive. However, the bad news was that their mission was still incomplete, but the movie ends.